Games, board games, board games, board games are something we're going to play. Board games, and that's how we choose to end our day today.
Or skip work in the middle of it to go back to later.
Yay, because some people here are not in the UK.
Because time zones.
Time zones. Time zones are amazing.
Not even time zones, it's continents, which is amazing. I love that about this.
And that is the wonder of our modern technology. And to anyone watching, hello, I am Bez, and you can see everyone's name around the thing. And let's go around the screen clockwise and have everyone introduce themselves, starting with Kathleen Mercury.
Hi, I'm Kathleen. How much do you want me to say?
Okay, I'll go first. I'm Bez. I make games, and my favorite things in pre-isolation times included dancing and cycling. And recently I've been enjoying I've been proud of the fact that I've been getting up earlier. I've been proud of the fact that I've done these daily live streams that I've carried on doing since the start of the month. And today I got up at like 7:30, and then I got up, I did a little bit of work on the computer, and then I did a proper workout, like I did like a good 72 sit-ups, like without hooking my feet under anything. Then I did a 10-minute workout with a DVD, and then I took a shower, and I'm proud of the fact that I'm getting into this morning routine, but I would like to get back into cycling because, you know, you don't need to be near people to cycle.
It's true. Okay.
Kathleen Mercury.
Hello. Take two.
Your name?
So my name is Kathleen Mercury. I live in the States in St. Louis, Missouri. I am a teacher. So we are wrapping up the school year. My students' last full week is actually this week. And so with all the pleasures that is of distance learning, I also make games. I teach game design. I am excited to be spending the summer with a friend to help take care of his kids. And I'll be going there in a couple weeks. And so that will be very good for me because I think without something to do, I don't know what I would do, you know, by myself would be bad. So yeah, so I'm excited about that.
So normally in the summer, would you be, if this were 2019, would you have been traveling and seeing a bit of the world?
Last summer I was home I had about 10 weeks off. And I think I was home for 2 day periods, and both were less than 48 hours. So
nice.
For me, just to be gone is typical. So I just can't imagine not teaching. I mean, I design games too, but you know, by myself, you know, at home, that's hard. So I'm excited to be able to have the opportunity to go be around others.
Yeah.
So we're just going to hunker in together.
And Chris Backe, let's talk about you.
So I'm Chris Backe. It rhymes with hockey. I am a digital nomad, game designer, editor, web developer, photographer, blogger, and world traveler. I'm awesome. So I like long walks on the beach.
Modest too.
Incredibly modest all the time.
Oh, you are the most modest person in the world, clearly.
And also the most
championship you would win.
Also the most facetious at times, but I enjoy board games in almost every way you can play them. In the pre-coronavirus time, I also very much enjoyed traveling and swing dancing. I would occasionally find myself in a singing group once upon a time, like a choir or a barbershop quartet. And I've done a little bit of everything.
Awesome. So I didn't realize we had swing dancing in common. And moving on to my good friend, Doric, which rhymes with Toric, which I realized is not actually a name. So now I have nothing for explaining how you say Doric.
So, Doruk, so my name is Doruk.
I normally live in London, but at the moment I am in Istanbul. So what I do, I design, develop games. I'm also into video games a lot, playing them, making them, designing design them.
And professionally, you do electronic stuff.
Yeah, like at work, which is a university work. I'm an academic, so I'm making these games that collect data for artificial intelligence to work. But yada. I'm also I'm hoping
It sounds like you're not that much into it.
it's because technical stuff. No, I love my work. I like what I do there. Also, I can't say otherwise. Otherwise, they won't pay.
But currently,
Appreciate the
you're
honesty.
not able to get back home to London.
Yeah, to my luck, something happened with my visa, and it coincided with the corona problem. So yeah, but I'm coming soon because my cat is there, my girlfriend is there. So
I like that you listed them in that order. I feel that could be a problem for you too.
No, I usually. Well,
Look, he's had the cat longer than the girlfriend.
Paying the rent for that is also a problem.
And Alina, could I ask you to introduce yourself to everyone? And I realised that I put a can of Innocent Gun into the freezer, and I'm going to take it out just so that it doesn't explode. So could you please explain introduce yourself while I run out and come back in?
I'm covering the stream, so guys, now, okay, I'm this. I like how Chris made the list, and I feel okay. Should I do the same? But basically, I'm illustrator, So if in short, I'm doing art for book and children's book, but also game design as well. And what I'm proud of is that all those sessions helped me to lead my sessions with my friends. And I lead to my family back to Ukraine because I'm from there, and back to my friends in Poland. So I was leading Bez. I want to say you that I was leading the session based on things I learned through those times. So my friends, and it's something that I develop also myself in game industry, which I really like. And also this I like the term isolation life, which you use. So I discovered that in new opportunities which we have now, we can do things which we haven't been done before. So I do simultaneous schedule with my friend, which helps me a lot. And to wake up, to do yoga, to keep responsibility for,
Nice.
This is working time, going deep focus into the time when I really need to do something, then having break, lunch, okay, you are also having lunch. And then it's kind of super life hack for this time for me, as it covers this lack of communication and helps to schedule. So it's my update so far.
Well, it sounds like you're keeping a healthy life, so good for you. And the nice thing about doing that sort of accountability thing is that not only does it benefit you, but also the other person, and slowly for everyone. And if only everyone could have a little accountability buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
You've gone a bit burbly to me. I don't know if that's just me.
I seem to be losing people. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you're back now. You sounded like you were being Dopplers to a black hole.
Okay, well, Andrew, why not introduce yourself and tell us some of your favorite things and about your life in as much detail as you'd like.
Well, I'm the odd one out. I don't do anything really game designy wise in any sort of professional context, nor anything creative in any professional context, unless you count designing roads.
I think that's super interesting.
We need roads.
It's not classically a creative industry. It's more technical. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about diverging diamond interchanges anytime you want. You know.
I mean, yeah, traffic circles. Some of your states have those. Some of them don't. Some think it's some sort of weird heresy because there's no right angles involved. And we don't turn on red. Good idea, though. It works in practice. It's great. Just we don't do it. There you go. That's a whole other stream. And Andrew talks American traffic and the virtues thereof. Right, what else do I? So yes, I professionally I run my own small highways consultancy, which I thought was going to go completely dead. What with everything that's gone off, it turns out it hasn't in the short term, because in the short term, everyone who had live work has panicked and asked for it to get it finished because they consider themselves pot committed. They've already spent most of the money on the project, so they want to get it in for planning. Whether I will still have any work in a month's time, that's a different question. But just right now, everything's gone from, just carry on as normal to, actually, we'd really like you to get that finished and submitted. So I'm actually a bit busy at the moment. Not least one of my projects is a big NHS project. Go figure. So they're quite keen I get on with it, which is good. So yeah, a bit busier at the moment. I dabble in games. I occasionally flirt with designing things and have a couple of unpublished titles lurking. Mostly I test other people's and provide moderately constructive feedback. The closest I actually have to a published title is that Bez credits me with Alphabetical, for which he is very kind, because it has been developed by many people. I just had the core original idea.
I think there's massive value, and you are, you did have that initial concept, and yes, it was developed into, a turn-based game, and then Mick Wood, added a new way to change it, but fundamentally, without you, there's no way that Alphabetical would exist. So I feel like you're, not taking full credit that you deserve.
Patient zero of the LDEC Creators Forum. Yeah, that's about as far as it goes. Yeah, I've probably waffled enough there, but yeah, I'm the odd one out, sort of, maybe.
Well,
or just odd.
Tonight, the games that we're going to be playing are Balanceable and Audition. So, Balanceable is a game about starting with a word. So here you started with the letter D, and then making words that go to the left and right of that line. And you've got to start off with a letter in the middle, and you've got to make words going to the right, and also make some words backwards. And at the end, you want to have an equal number of words on the right, equal number of letters on the right and left of your starting letter. And finally, you want to balance your two longest words. You want to make them as long as you can, but only your second longest side counts, and only your second longest word. And after that, although we might have to have Kathleen Mercury not stay with us for the second one, Chris can tell us a little bit about Audition.
Sure. So in Audition, we have one player that's going to be the director, and everyone else is an actor. You're going to have 3 cards basically in your hand: a word card, a personality card, and a character card. Your job is to communicate this character and this personality to the director by only saying this word. And so you'll do your performance. We'll jumble them all up. The director will see which personalities and which characters are possible, and both the actor and the director score points if the director is able to make a good match. So there's a little bit of acting and communication with this one.
Now, before we start the first game, if we could have a couple of people give us something that brought them joy recently. I would have liked to talk about the Innocent Gun that I bought recently. I bought myself a 4-pack, but this is not the Innocent Gun that I hoped for. Innocent Gun is a lovely brewery in Scotland. They've got rum-lined casks. They've also got whiskey-lined casks, and so it's beer, it's lager, but it tastes faintly of rum or whiskey. And so it's got some lovely, but this is just basic lager beer brewed with naked golden oats. And it's nice. There's a good element to it, but it doesn't have the surprise and the tanginess. But what I do want to big up, what I really enjoyed and I ate in one sitting, was a jar full of pickled garlic. And so, I'm not kissing anyone tonight. I'm not seeing anyone. I'm not on any dates. So I ate the entire jar of pickled garlic in basically one sitting this evening. And I really enjoyed that.
I mean,
So
were you
that is
planning
my
on dating
favorite.
again this year? I mean, that seems aggressive.
I really enjoyed it. I like garlic.
I mean, I like garlic.
I can confess, Bez, like in terms of that I also enjoyed onion just recently. And it's the same. Yes, like actually now this virtual thing is like gives us more opportunity. Don't think about this.
I mean, I had smoked fish, but so did my wife. So.
Well,
this is a great way to test the effectiveness of toothbrushing.
Hello,
and
Patricia. It's lovely to see
mouthwash
you.
and so on.
Just to say we're sharing our
Hello.
joys, and if in the comments you have any joys to share, anything you've enjoyed, whether it's a jar of pickled garlic or maybe some smoked skippers, or maybe you went out for a walk around dusk last night, which I actually did also do, so that was a recent joy. But share any joys that you have before we get to the games.
Now that I'm home, I can take my dog for walks because I was without my dog for 9 weeks. But on the whole, if you noticed, I reached over to get my bottles. This was on my nightstand by my bed. Okay, so this is Screwball. It's peanut butter whiskey, and
peanut butter whiskey,
delicious, delicious.
Wow.
That's more up my street than the beer.
Yeah. So good. Screwball.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Delicious. And then on the whole food thing too, last night I did $150 worth of Indian takeaway. So I don't have to cook for a good week or so. So I've got a whole drawer in my fridge just full of everything. And it was so good. Like, because everything always looks so good. I was like this, and boom. So yeah, I'm doing all right.
Awesome. Well, the rest of you I'll get to you like after the first game during the
I just got
intermission.
excited to share my alcohol.
That sounds awesome.
It's
I'm
3
really
o'clock where
excited
you are, right?
to know that peanut butter whiskey is a thing.
Not 3 o'clock. It's like 1 o'clock.
No, I'm not drinking it yet.
Okay.
Yes,
we are
teacher.
playing Balanceable, which you might have noticed the ticker at the bottom. What we're going to do is start off by picking one of these letters and putting it in the middle of your paper. It doesn't really matter which one you pick.
You've given us two horrible letters, T and D.
I've picked a D, which you might be able to tell, and I've put it right in the middle of my paper. So to play along, all you need is a sheet of paper and a pen or pencil. And as I pick up more and more cards, every card is going to have 2 letters on it. You pick one of the letters to go either on the left or the right. There are 25 cards we are playing with. So you're going to ideally put 12 of them on the left and 12 of them on the right during the course of the game. But you want all the letters to be part of a word or words. Multiple words. Words cannot share letters. So if you have the word saw, S-A-W, you can't then use the W as the first letter of the next word. They have to be totally discrete. Does that make sense?
Yep. Are we writing the left-hand word backwards?
Yes, exactly. So you have to go backward. It might be that you have a word in the middle that you're using forwards and backwards. Now, at the end, there's 2 scores that you will add up. Firstly, you score for your shortest. Well, firstly, you cross off any gobble-de-gook that's not part of a word. Hopefully, don't have any of that. And you do also, along the game, have 3 wild cards that you are allowed to use to help. At any point, instead of cards, you're allowed to just put down a star, which you can determine what letter that is at the end of a game. Now, at the end, once you've scribbled off all the gobble-de-gook, the shorter side, you get that many points. So if you've got 8 letters on your left and 14 on your right, you get 8 points. Secondly, you look at your 2 longest words, and you again score the lowest of the 2. So you want to balance your 2 sides and balance your 2 longest words.
One more question, and I missed this. Do we create 3 lines, or we're only working off 1 line?
1 line only. It's
only.
1 line only. You're going backwards and forwards.
Okay.
And does the second longest have to be on? Is it the longest on both sides? You said earlier, Bez. So if we have a 6 on both sides, does that not count? And then the 5 on both sides would count, or something?
So the words, it doesn't matter where on the line it is. It's just the 2 longest words. You look at them, and the second longest word, you get that many points.
Okay, and if you have 2 equally long words,
then you get that many points.
Okay. So in theory, I suppose in theory you could make a 25-letter word, but one doesn't come to mind.
Yeah, in theory, the perfect score would be 12 for having the 2 sides perfectly balanced, and 12 because you've got 2 12-letter words. Although I think that if you score, longer than a 6-letter word, you're doing pretty
exceptionally well.
I kind of missed the initial rule, but I'm good with the rest. Like,
have you got an example sheet, Bez?
Yeah, work great.
Of a finished one.
So
you can do that thing you make a little small.
New enough that it's been a little bit. These are only in pencil, unfortunately. I don't know if you can see this properly.
Just about.
So I started with the R, and my words were because I ran out of room to the left of Briars, and I used Briars, chi, or nature. H is gobble-de-gook, and tons, spelt the American way. And because I had a line of 11 on this side and 10 on this side, I scored 10 points. And my 2 longest words were 6 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which meant I got another 6, so I got 16 points.
So you write down words that start with the last word of the previous one?
No, all the words have to be separate.
Yeah.
Just show me again, Bez, on the pad. So
yeah. If it helps, think of it as only using each letter once per word, but you don't have to decide which words you're making right when you make them. You can kind of define and you can partition later on.
Exactly.
Okay. I misunderstood on the left side. On the left side, the words are written the correct way round, but we're working backwards. We're not writing backwards.
Correct.
I assumed that to write Briars, for example, you would have had to do B-R-A-I-R-S, just going the wrong way. I would have started writing backwards if I hadn't clarified.
Oh, no. All the words are... It's just
correct
that you're
way
working
round.
backwards. You're working from
backwards.
Right to left. So you need to think, okay, what word is going to end in this thing?
Oh, this is going to go badly. I can't do English language in the correct direction. Although at this point I am going to hold out for balanceable being spelt wrong, because balance has a C in it. Because I know it sounds like an S, and I know Chris will sympathise that it sounds like an S, but it's spelt with a C.
It is.
Sure.
Well,
it should be balancable.
No, because I spell it phonetically. And if you notice where I say try to balance your row, I spell the word balance correctly. I don't know how to spell balance.
I just insist on consistency of the English language being awful. If balance is spelled with a C, so is balanceable.
Not if it's the name of a game. If it's the name of a game in the L deck, I spell it however I want.
I'd probably spell it with a Z, Bez, so you're safe.
So, has everyone decided on a T or D to start?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And underline? Yes, Bez?
Yes. Underline it. Do whatever you want to make sure that you know it's your starting letter.
And
so now,
how many wildcards?
We're allowing 3 wild cards.
And there are 24 cards to be drawn, with the extra letter being the 25th.
Correct.
Got you.
So I or Y? I.
So can I double check? Like, we use this like either as a second letter for the word, or just starting the second word in the second column?
It could be there is only one row.
We go like all the time straight. Okay.
Yes, you can. So you choose I, or you choose Y, and you put it to the right, or you put it to the left. Those are your
All
four
right.
options.
So I have so far made it by putting I to the left of T.
Great minds.
Okay.
But
okay.
I must be
Surprising
either the first letter of the word if it's on the left side, or the last
No,
letter.
it doesn't need to be the first letter of the word
Yeah,
because
any
it
letter.
can
because
go
we're going
through the
backwards. It could yet become
knit
knit.
or
Kit.
Sit.
Knit.
sure,
The other
or
sort of knit.
sitter.
Yeah. Or I could choose to run it both ways, in which case it could become an I and a T in the middle of another word, so it could become nightly.
No, that
No.
nightly is Nightly. I was giving an
The
example.
dyslexic person is now going to spell backwards. This isn't going to go well.
So,
Would triceptor work?
It could become fit, for example.
so
Can I
you've got
write
to choose an O or an F to put on the left or right. So this is the third letter that you've got to write.
Okay.
And remember,
And you
the words
can-
have to be at least 2 letters long.
And you
Okay.
can skip words. You can skip letters if you want.
Correct.
Or just put them down and scrub them off as gobble-de-gook afterwards. So possibly best to put, even if
As
it's a
long
bad
as
letter,
they
play it
are
and then
in
scrub it.
between words rather than in the middle. Now,
Does the starting letter have to be in both words? It doesn't have to be. We can just. Oh, it does.
no, the starting letter is just to mark the middle
Position.
of your row.
Okay, so I could
So
just
it's
start a new
just to
word to its
see
right.
how much have you worked right, how much have you worked left.
Cool.
Okay. E or K, has everyone done that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, N or B? Note this one well. Sixth letter on your line is going to be I or Q, if you choose to accept it. Or indeed you could use a star, but it might be a little bit early. Next we have N or D.
All right.
Of. Of is all you need. O or V.
I need the L and the E to go with the of. Lay is not all I need. Okay. Bad jokes are over.
I just realised that, yeah, I've never actually seen the EL cards and the OV cards next to each other. Okay, we're a quarter of the way through. N or Z? Next, A or J? And if you want to look up words like each turn, as long as you're doing it fast enough to keep up, that's totally okay. E or P? Going back to the oldies with an EP. Oh, see this
You may have
card.
killed Kathleen. We're all old enough to remember
Kathleen,
what one of
see
those
this
is.
card.
Yeah. I'm not doing very well.
I'm not sure if I'm not doing very well or if I'm just not aware that I'm not doing very well.
I feel like I'm decorating my paper with letters and stars, but it's fine. I just threw a C where a C should never go. Okay.
S or D?
The mind boggles.
Right? We didn't know we were going to hit that limit, but today is the day.
I've realised that I've written my letters too big, and they're getting gradually smaller as I approach the edge of the sheet of paper.
Yeah, do bear in mind that you want 12 on each side, and 12's quite a
Yeah,
bit.
I realised that after the fact.
SC.
Really? Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Oh,
All right.
damn. Okay, I'm using my first wild card.
Oh,
And
I'm
we're
already-
half of
already
the
used
way
to.
through the game.
It needs a better term than wild card. It needs to be like Starell. That means no. It's like I'm writing the letters backwards to remind me to have the words go backwards.
No, the words need to go the normal way. The words
Yeah,
go
the
the
words
normal
still be-
way. It's just that
Yeah.
you're working backwards.
Well, I am making words go backwards because I am just extra. So I'm definitely.
This was the thing I
decorating
clarified and apparently caused confusion with. Or
That's all right.
both me and Kathleen needed it clarified, and only one of us absorbed the clarification. Classification. Classification is vehicles. It's been on my brain all day.
Okay.
Sorry.
After S or H, you've got R or H.
It's not helping.
No, literally making words go
Okay.
backwards. It's fine.
And T or M.
Ah, that's okay. I can cope with that just fine.
Wild.
9 cards remaining. T or L.
Hello, vowels. I'd like to buy a vowel, please.
That's what stars are
Using
for.
a second wild L or
Yeah.
star L. Try and get some for size. Tia. So that's we've
Maybe
got.
it would be a wild L, like a wild. W-I-E-L-L-D. Y-L. W-I-L-L-E. W-I-E.
W-I-E-L-L-C. Y-L.
Yeah. Wild. It's French.
And for that reason alone.
I'm skipping. Actually, no. I'm using another YL.
Yeah, I just had to do that. I'm out of YLs.
As am I.
It's all gone wrong for me.
I or L.
Very good.
All right.
What was I
6
say? I or
cards
what?
to go.
I
That
or
was I or L.
Okay.
1, 2, 3,
Going to regret this.
I made about $1 for every time I said that.
T or H.
Going to regret this badly.
Well, if you look at my hair, because I haven't been dyeing it, I always say that I have a gray hair for everything I've ever said and that I've regretted. So, yeah.
Oh, dear.
Oh, got a
Mine, you can see some of mine actually. Running your own business apparently is a surefire way of acquiring some.
Oh, well, teaching.
O or D.
Oh, I like the O. You can have some more of those.
Please, sir, do you have another E?
Another E.
Please, sir.
Actually, I don't
Please,
want an E.
vowels, may I have
An
some
extra O
more?
would be fine. More O's would be just fine.
And that, by the way, is
quite a while.
the only time you will hear me attempt a British accent. You are welcome. Because, of course, there's only one British accent.
There isn't.
Don't know if you know that. There's just one.
No, there's about 78.
No, there's just one.
That's perfect.
Even Americans accept that Scottish has its own accent.
Yeah, I know. As a joke.
That's because the average American can tell apart a quote unquote English accent and a quote unquote Scottish accent. It is akin to someone from New York being told apart from someone from Texas. They're very different accents, and as such, they're very distinct. Go ahead.
Wales, however, confuses you.
Well, yeah, it's just a general geographical region.
And there's 3 cards left.
Yep.
Who are you?
Right. You're kidding? Now we have that?
I just said like another O. That's a good O.
No, it's
Do you have to play all the cards?
No.
No, you don't have to use all of them. 1, 2, 3.
I just had to ditch one completely because it didn't fit.
No.
And I've used all my.
Oh.
No, my brother-in-law is Scottish, and so first thing I learned to say with the Scottish accent was "I'm pissed off."
R or L?
And that when he tries to use an American accent, it comes out super Western, like "I want to go to the store."
Is that not an American accent?
Oh goodness gracious!
I'm gonna go to the store, y'all.
Yippee-ki-yay, I'm all out of my peanut butter whiskey. Gonna need to wet my throat with something at some point. Got here this coronavirus.
So,
God, I am just one
this
freaking
is the
E.
final
No.
Ultimates card. And I'm about to show you the final one.
If there's not an E.
E also need to.
We all want an E.
It's an A or M.
Well, I did. I screwed up anyway because I went backwards. Because
9.
I think I'm freaking Socrates over here doing it. So whatever. Well, I might as well do that and just get a 2-letter word out of it because that'll be good for points.
Apparently, I only scrubbed 1 letter, judging by how many letters I have.
So,
One of these days, I'll
definitely
count.
words, I'm fairly sure.
I think I've scored 16.
I do say, Bez, that
yes.
Granted, I might have slightly misunderstood the rules, but I do like the writing words backwards thing is kind of funny.
That's what I thought we had to do originally. I thought that could be just. I mean, to be fair, my brain has nearly melted getting this far.
Functionally, really easy. Then you're just working on 2 lines.
Too.
Yeah, no, yeah. Like I did. Like this way it goes. Like there's, I guess, dink. It could be dick, but we'll just say dink. So dink and then KOA. And I was trying to get a crew, and I really needed an E, but then I just threw an M on there, so that could be like a 2-letter word AM over there. But then there's bind. Hey, and that's a good one for you guys, bind, right? Because you guys like to throw things in the bin. And then there's stilt, and then there's like an errant M just thrown on the end there. But yeah, no, I made those go backwards because that's what I thought we had to do.
I think it counts myself, just because.
I mean, you have to work out what you think is appropriate. Whoops, I'll show you what.
No, I screwed up. I'm okay with that.
So I did R, oi, sop, no, bed, and then on this side I managed.
Knob. It says knob. I see knob in there. It's fine.
Yeah, it's no, and then it's
no
bed.
N. There's no K.
NOB is also a word.
Is it?
But I had final and then start. So going on this side, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. On this side, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which means that my points for the lines are 10 points. And my 2 longest words, final and start, were both 5 letters long, which gives me another 5 points. So my total is 15.
Am I possibly going to win?
You, Bez?
Oh, you always do, Chris. You win everything.
Oh, and you scratch out the gobbledygook. Gobbledygook doesn't count, right?
16.
Oh, I can equal 16.
So you've got, what's MERS?
MERS, according to the Scrabble dictionary, I just had it actually. I looked it up because I had the
a
IRS
Russian peasant commune. Nice.
Yeah, I did not know that when I first looked it up. Of course, I saw that I had the IRS, and I was waiting for something like sirs or furs. Then the M came up. Hang on, is that a word? I need to check that. So yeah, MERS, no, dine, phi, ta, podcat, and then shoot. So 12 on each side, 4 for the second longest word for 16.
Nice. And who wants to go next?
I can match 16.
Ooh, nice.
So I have Moors, zone, fit, nice, costly, and it.
Nice.
And I had 11 on one side, 12 on the other, so I get 11 for my balancing, and then costly would be 6, but that's the longest, so I scratched that. So my second longest is Moors for 5. 5 plus 11 is 16. I don't know if you have a tiebreaker of any sort.
The person who had the better score with the 2 sides. So Chris would win that tiebreak.
Okie dokie. I thought it was either going to be that or longest word would be the actual one to do. So, yep, cool.
That would be a good
Alina, do you
tiebreaker
want
right
to
there.
show your?
I'm kind of trying to make scores, but I don't think it's correct. But somehow it's also around 16, but maybe not. Okay, see where it is. So I was about to make a word Capricorn, which I failed. Yeah, it was.
What's that word? Alconib?
Binocle, yes. So binocle.
No, it's meant to be reading left to right.
Okay, it wasn't
you
just
did
me
the
that went for
same
that.
as what Kathleen did. Clearly, I explained this one badly, so I massively apologize to
No,
you,
it's okay.
Kathleen, and everyone watching.
Oh, no. I mean, it makes sense to have them all go in the same letter so that you can have whole like chains of words that even like span the center and all that. It totally makes sense. I think the backwards letter thing is actually kind of fun, but
Either one is challenging because
yeah.
going backwards to a word I find very difficult because I struggle to spell them forwards. So that's very, very challenging from my perspective. But at the same time, when you have to read it back, it's very easy to do because you're reading in the correct direction. Whereas writing them in the correct order, but back to front is initially easier, but then you have to make sure you are actually closing the words out correctly when you check them back.
So,
firstly, I can show like how I was starting because I was rewriting. So my binocle went, from up to down. It was the original version of it. So how it was to get to understand it.
Oh,
so
because you didn't have enough space there.
Yes, I went too short. Well, how it should be normally be? Sorry again.
So, just to show mine again. So, AR is a word. OI is a word. Like, AR means like, it's the way...
Something, Bez. Can you go step by step? Like, your first letter was, I think,
Do you want to do mine? Because mine's got longer words in it, so it reads easier.
Well,
Sure.
one more. Okay, but you only score 2 ways. You score your longest side with all the gobbledygook scratched out.
Your shortest side.
Your shortest side, and then you also score the shortest of your 2 longest words. So it doesn't matter how many other words you came up with, right?
The more important problem that is about the beginning. So the first letter was T, and then what happened?
So with Andrew worked backwards to make fit.
Because one of the letters was I.
Yes. And then worked backwards to make, is that zone?
Zone, yes.
So how does
Very
zone
fancy.
connect?
They don't. That's the point. Each word is meant to be separate.
So can I just write in a letter? Then it work?
No, you use one of the 2 letters each time. Maybe...
What's stopping me from writing a very long word?
Nothing apart from the difficulty of getting the right letters. In theory, a 12-letter word in both directions, or 13-letter word one way and a 12-letter the other is the best, but the odds of you completing the word is negligible.
Nil. Or virtually nil.
It's another push your luck type system. It's how long a word do you risk. S is on the left is good, because you can close them out as plurals. Or
Is there a limit to the number of words, letters you can write down?
25.
Each time I show a card, you are meant to pick one of the letters to put on the left of your line or the right of your line. And then each time I showed a new card, here you would pick the O or D to be the left or the right.
And the line cannot be more than
Correct,
25
because
letters.
there's 25 cards, and each card you're only using one of the letters.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
It
I think
seems
it's probably
I make
one of those that even needs an example in the rules when you write the rules up, Bez, so that people can see a completed thing.
Fish.
Yeah. The other possibility, Bez, would be to have what I'm picturing here is what I'm picturing might be some of the combinations.
Yeah, goes all the way. They're really long words.
Ooh.
Well, I could if you want to keep it, I can bring it to London.
Well, I don't know what that's.
Cute little.
I'm trying to still work out what's going on there. Just because it's pencil.
My first letter, right? T. And goes this way, triceptor. And then I didn't have space, so eventually it came into the form of a fish.
I love it.
Oh.
Love it.
Maybe this should be another game. Maybe we just invent.
Oh, wait.
Sure.
Bez, I just thought of a different game. You could give everybody grid paper. You give everybody grid paper, and then they actually have to color in the blocks of the letters. So like a B, you color in 5 down, and then you make the B shape and trying to fit all of your letters inside that grid space. Like a roll and write, but just with filling them in.
Oh, so number 9, like a polyomino
with letters,
translate each thing into a certain thing.
And if you're wanting to do different custom decks for the L deck to go along with different games, having the letters shaped in those polyominoes, whatever words.
Oh, like little pixel letters. That could be quite cool.
So what you can do, I actually have some experience with something like that.
I need to jump out and say goodbye because I have to run a club for my students, distance learning wise.
Well,
I'm not drinking. I was just demonstrating this. I don't do that during the day.
Demonstrating alcohol.
Well, it was lovely to have you with us, Kathleen.
Thank you.
And bye for now, and enjoy the rest of your day in the USA.
Thank you. Bye.
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 We say bye-bye to Kathleen. We say hello to Cheyenne. It's always lovely to have you with us.
I think I've just recounted, by the way. I think I'd like to declare victory. So
I
think I got 17. I've recounted 12 on each direction, so I can score 12.
What's his costly?
Costly.
Oh yeah, it's just nice.
Congratulations, Andrew.
I was figuring out how I'd done that, and I just realized because the middle letter only goes one way. So I was like, I should have 12 each side if I've only skipped one card.
That's true. Yep.
No, you can't have 12 both ways, because as soon as you skip one, you've only got 11 to the side to the left.
Nice try.
You've only got 11 to the left of the T.
Oh, do we not count the T in the word itself?
No, you only count how many you've got to the left and how many you've got to the right.
I assumed you counted how many letters were in the words running in that direction.
No,
in which case I withdraw it and I tie again. In which case,
that's
yes.
all good. And Chris won the tiebreak. But now we are going to start the audition in a little bit. And Chris, if you get your screen up, I will be able to share it.
Okay.
To get. And before we start talking about that, I'd like to ask a couple of people. Doric, what is a joyful thing that you have enjoyed recently? Oops.
Good question. This.
What? Oh, is that stuffed vine leaves?
Yeah, right.
Food.
Nice.
Or dolma in Turkish. In Greek it's called dolmades. Maybe you heard of.
And
dolma.
so are you eating them freshly made? Is that what your family cooks?
Well, there was plenty of kinds of food. But yeah, this was one of the delights.
Awesome.
But quite nice, yeah. This is one of the joys. And today I had the chance to work out under the sun, which was quite all right. So in May, it's T-shirt time in Turkey.
Brilliant.
That was very refreshing.
Here it's a bit more of jumpery time. It was almost t-shirt time 3 days ago, but that
Briefly.
period passed very swiftly.
Yeah.
I know.
And Andrew, tell us one of your joys recently.
I always struggle with these. I got a little tabletop game I enjoyed playing out, which we've been learning to play again with my wife. So that was good.
Which game?
And yeah, as far as possible, I just try to keep sort of bimbling
Which
along.
game, may I ask?
Firestorm Armada. It's spaceships on tabletop.
Sounds cool. Like moving the
Actually, I
miniatures
got it at
around,
Games Expo.
vaguely
the
like
first-
X-Wing.
It's bigger than X-Wing, more Battlefleet Gothic scale, but it's very different to Battlefleet Gothic. But yeah, ships, dice,
Awesome.
things. You know, it's one of the dice games where you only need D6s, so which makes it somewhat more accessible to people who aren't hugely into other dice.
Nice.
Well, Chris, tell us about Audition, which is, according to the ticker banner, all about communicating a role and personality by saying exactly one word. Whereas
That's
the director
right. So
has
this-
to...
Yeah.
So tell us.
This is sure. So this is the audition, and in the story of this game, you might picture we're all actors at an audition trying to communicate how awesome we are acting to the director, whose job is to try to figure out what role we are, or whatnot. So what we're going to do here is I want everyone to assuming that everyone's here now. So for example, each person will take one of each type of card into their hand, and this is on playingcards.io. What you can do is you can actually just drag and drop them down to the little white space down there. And once you've taken a good look at them, you'll put them back face down into the spots here. You can keep your word card in your hand. Once everyone's done that, we'll flip them all. Basically, just click on a card to make it go from face up to face down. And once everyone's had a good look at their cards, we'll take them, we'll shuffle them up, and then we'll have them all laid out so the director can see the various personalities that people will be trying to perform. On your turn, you will be taking your character card, or you'll be basically demonstrating that. What's the best way to say this? You will be communicating your personality and your character by saying this word and only this word. You can make it shorter or longer. You can be as dramatic with it as you want, but that's the only thing you can say. And this breath has a one breath rule. So once you run out of breath, that's your turn. So for example, just as an example here, I might say, so these are my two words here, and you would not know what they are when I'm doing the performance. That's the director's job to try to pair up the words or the personalities and character with the performance. So I might say or something. I might go so you can manipulate your voice any way you like. This is the only word you can say, whatever word card you got. Okay? So once everyone's gone, the director is going to try to pair up personality and the character cards with each person that did a performance. So if I'm the director, I might say, okay, I think this person did this, and this person did this. I'm just dragging the cards to the person on the right side. So the director and the actor score 1 point for each thing that matched. If I got the personality right, but not the character, each person would score 1 point. If the director matched both the personality and the character card, the director and that actor each score 2 points. Okay, questions so far?
Okay, so 1 point for each thing that you communicate, 1 point for each thing you guess.
So
Correct.
at the end of the round, the director can see all 4, presumably, of the blue cards and all 4 of the green
Correct.
cards. So they have
Correct.
some.
And
Right. Okay.
yeah,
That makes more
and
sense
just to throw them a curveball, I'm going to be throwing in an extra decoy card for each of those before
Okay.
displaying them. So let me give this a quick shuffle, and you guys will not need to do this here. Let me just recall them
do we need to
all
write
here.
down our words?
Nope.
No, you do not need to write anything.
Cool.
So what you'll do is you will go ahead and draw a card here in a moment, and I'm just giving everything a shuffle right now. Okay, so draw a card. Draw one of each type of card into your hand, and then give it a look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The question is always, how can you communicate this?
Okay, so who's the
role
first
for this-
director?
Alina. In terms of that, I just put the points on the side here in alphabetical order. So Alina, we'll have you be the first director. If you drew cards, you could just put them back in the deck. So don't worry about it. And everyone else, have a good look at your cards. Keep your word card in your hand. And
So how do I look
Question?
at the card in my hand?
Click and
take a
drag.
card from the deck and click and drag it down to the bottom of the screen.
So I have 3 cards in the bottom,
That's it.
Mm-hmm. That's
but
it.
they're only white.
There, you should. Okay,
really,
if you're really seeing the borders. Okay, so if you're seeing 3 cards, what happens is they kind of look like this when they're done. This is a limitation of the playingcards.io. So what you can do, you can kind of click one and hold it, or drag it over to the right.
It's worth checking at this point nobody's colorblind, right? Because we have got red, green, blue here, which is immediately going to be a problem for some people.
Yeah, the backs. So hopefully, the notion of what is a character, what's personality, what's a word, will be immediately obvious as you're looking at things. But I do recognize that as something I'll have to work on.
I
for
would
a
say
future version.
no. Again, as somebody who's borderline dyslexic, if I think hard about it, I can determine them. But if I was
Mhm.
dyslexic and colorblind at this point, I would be completely confused.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I can tell them apart because I've internalized the concept that the blue card is the character card, but actually my character card and my personality card are similar-ish enough that I would struggle if I wasn't able to differentiate color. Now, obviously, the odds of being dyslexic and colorblind are relatively low, but nonetheless, there is an accessibility issue there, I think. But that's, I mean, I appreciate it's just whipped up on Cards.io.
Just as an icon.
Mhm.
I'm still
An
unable
icon.
to.
This is okay. So,
Yeah.
Sorry, say again.
I still couldn't look at the back of my cards. They show white.
That's strange. Double click them.
How about Alina? Can you see your cards?
Actually, I'm struggling to find all the way how to organize it. Just a minute.
Okay, so when your cards are in your hand,
Okay.
Yes, I can.
when your cards are
Okay,
in your
yes,
hand,
I'm
and
here, yes.
Okay, so what I just realized, Bez, is that because the screen is showing my cards, that's going to make me rather difficult. It's going to make it rather difficult for me to play here. So what I will do here,
Unless I
is I'll
hide it, or you click yours to flip it over.
yeah, like hypothetically, I can
Tell
do
you what,
that.
if you want to play, Chris, do you want to share my screen, because I don't think I'm going to be very good at this anyway. I'm happy to have my screen shared, and I'll move the cards around because I know how to use Cards.io.
Or
I think
mine,
Chris can play
because
through it.
mine is acting weird, so we could also have a look at the problem.
I mean,
So I
actually, just getting Doric to show us his screen.
Yeah,
would
do
be
you
helpful,
want
yes,
to
then we
share
can see
your
what-
screen, Doric?
Then we can find out what Doric's technical issue is first. But I don't mind being the demo screen because
So yes,
I like the concept.
It's asking for. Oh wow! So it's asking for permissions that will need me to exit Google Chrome. So better Android try.
What?
I can share.
Remember-
It's because it's screen sharing Google
Or-
Intercede.
Can you
Oh,
see it at the moment?
Yeah, that's a Google Chrome thing. It's asking for something.
Cool.
Wow, here.
So
Who's have we now got? Is that
you
Bez's?
see it, right?
This
So
is
I got-
Doric's screen.
This is Doric's.
I
Okay,
can-
there we go.
I got these 3 cards.
Oh, I
Mhm.
see what you mean. They're
So you
white.
put-
Yeah.
You didn't put any blanks in the deck, did you?
And do you
Chris?
see the pages?
No.
Can you try taking a word, Doric?
A word. Yes, one of them
Yeah,
should
one
be
of the red one.
So I'm leaving them back.
Red one.
Take
Yeah,
a
I mean,
That's
it might
really
be that
weird.
it just doesn't work on Google Chrome.
Put that word card.
I'm
Doric,
in
on the
Google
table.
Chrome right now.
Yeah, good. Doric, go to your. Oh, hang on, it's all moved. Drag the white card you've got and put it on the tabletop in the middle, just out of interest. Okay, I'm going to flip it and see if I can read it. Yeah, when you flip it, I can read it.
Yeah. There's something wrong with this.
There's
I
something
have
wrong
more
with the-
progress.
That's really strange.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
You got me there.
Bug report.
Okay.
So it seems like Doric is unable to play this one.
And Doric
Okay.
can't use his screen to demo either
So it
because
seems
we won't be able to read
okay.
off it.
I can
Bez?
see that first one.
Bez, why don't we go to the backup strat we talked about earlier?
We could do say anything. The other option is for you to private message people cards, and we play a 4-player game with you, sorts of games mastering.
Yeah, that can work. Except in this particular stream, I can only there's only private messaging that goes out to everyone. So, when we did it in Zoom before,
Well,
we
you can
first did
private message other
Via
people.
Facebook.
Or when you reveal someone's words, the others can just stop looking.
Yes, we'll go with the backup strat.
With the backup, with say
Yeah,
anything.
Let's play. I mean, let's play this one on Thursday. But maybe if we get together beforehand, we can figure out the
well,
logistics of how
we
to play
would-
it.
I think that going forwards, it makes sense to say, okay, Thursdays we'll do the games that we've tried before and they work, and we're sure that they work and are a bit simpler, and
Yeah.
James can join in. But Tuesday maybe we'll be a bit more open to playtesting things.
Yeah.
And whilst
Okay.
it's fun to have different things, I think it'll be good to, give a little bit of focus. And obviously, this is just the way it is. Sometimes things don't work, and
it happens.
Tech is tech.
but
Tech
it's
is tech.
nice to obviously for people to have a thing where, okay, tune on in on Thursday, and it's a bit more fun.
Exactly. A bit of structure to the format. It's always nice. Andrew, for
So-
what it's worth, I've actually imported this on Tabletop Simulator as well.
Okay.
And of course, it works fine there. It's just playingcards.io being special at a moment of need.
Yeah.
All right, Bez, does everyone know how to play Say Anything?
Well, Doric, do you know how to place anything?
Not yet.
Okay, so what color do you want, Doric?
Green.
Chris?
Blue.
Alina?
Green.
Oh,
Green.
Dork just said green.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. I asked Doric first. You can be the green next time,
You have
maybe.
to have a unique
Oh, yeah.
color.
Yeah.
Or
You can
make
be
it
yellow, purple, orange, brown, red, or grey.
Oh no, purple. It's in purple.
Okay. And we've got Andrew.
I'll stick with orange.
And I just wrote your name as AD.
That's fine. I've been known to answer that.
Okay, so the way that Say Anything works, and I will explain this as we go along. I will be the first judge, and I ask a question, which is going to be, what would be the weirdest job? Now, that is the bottom question, but it doesn't really matter. The whole point is that everyone else is answering the question, what would be the weirdest job? When you have something that you want to say, just shout it out. Tell me what would be the weirdest job. The objective is to say the answer that I will find the funniest or the most amusing or the most interesting will be my favorite in some manner.
Wait, shouldn't we have these cards to vote?
Yes.
We will write people's names on to vote in a minute.
Okay.
But first we have to shout out what would be the weirdest job?
To collect dust from the trees.
Alina said to collect gas from the trees.
Dust.
Dust.
No, like-
Oh.
Tree duster. Okay.
Professional underwater basket weaver.
Professional underwater
Basket weaver.
As opposed to the less professional variety who are.
Yeah. Forget about the amateurs. The amateurs are doing what they love for free. That's great and all, but the professional only makes money when they actually do their basket weaving underwater.
Okay.
Telephone sanitizer.
Telephone sanitizer.
Although, ironically, may be more relevant in this day and age.
I could
And
see.
Doric, can
I
you
could
think
see
of a
someone
weird
at the
job?
mall.
Doric?
Online fish therapist.
Online fish therapist. Yeah.
So, do you offer services to the fish, or you use fish to deliver the therapy?
Well, so the service goes to the fish, but obviously since the fish are not the ones paying, you're actually marketing it towards the owner of the fish, because it's kind of like education. Like you teach to the kids, but the ones that are paying are the parents.
Yeah. Okay. All
That's
right.
the approach.
Okay, I know which one is my favorite, and I've written the name down on a piece of paper. I've actually also written down everyone else's name on little bits of paper.
Bits of paper. I thought we just voted on by holding up a sheet of paper.
Yeah, you can.
Okay,
it's entirely up to you. So now, when everyone else should guess who I thought had the best answer. So starting with Chris, and going clockwise, give a quick recap. So Chris was
professional underwater basket weaver.
Doric was internet fish therapist.
Online fish therapist.
Alina was tree duster.
Collecting or cleaning dust from the tree.
I'm pretty sure that's a genuine job in Japan, you know.
And
I'm pretty sure they employ people to foliate trees properly.
Bonsai, so the culture, I can believe so.
There's all sorts of things that go on over there. And Andrew, you were phone sanitizer.
Telephone sanitizer.
Okay, so I've got my favourites. Everyone else guess. 3, 2, 1. Reveal who you think was the best one. Doric voted for Chris. And Alina, who did you think was the best?
Yeah, Doric.
You can vote for yourself, actually, it should be stressed.
Okay. Doric was definitely the best, in my opinion. Which means that everyone gets 1 point, except for me. I get 2.
Why?
So basically, the way it works is you get 1 point for having grits in my favourite answer. 1 point if you would believe, if you vote for the same answer that I voted for. So Doric, you could have gotten a 2nd point if you voted for yourself. And the person who's the judge gets up to a maximum of 2 points based on how many people vote for the answer that they voted for. Does that make sense?
So if at least 2 people vote for it, you get 2 points? Is that
it? Yeah. For the same one. Okay, so now Chris is the judge. And
all right.
Your options are: who was the most important person of the past 100 years? Or what is the most ridiculous hairstyle?
Most ridiculous hairstyle.
That is our question. What's the most ridiculous hairstyle of all time? Okay.
Neon pink afro.
Okay.
It's got to be up there.
Yep. All right.
I'm going for the classic double mullet.
With the double mullet?
Yeah, so like the mullet is the short fronts and the long back, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the double mullet is when you've got the kind of pigtail-y pony, like the pigtails added onto it.
All right. Very good. Alina or Doric?
Okay, I'm ready. Pan haircut, which is like coming from the having pan on the head. Yes, and then cut around.
Okay.
Putting bowl haircut.
So how it is?
Bowl cut.
Bowl haircut.
Like a bowl of cereal.
Right.
Bowl cut.
Yes.
Yeah, they should do that in Dumb and Dumber, I think, the movie. All right, great. Doric.
Bird's nest.
Bird's nest. All right.
Right.
Very good. Okay. Well, I have an answer locked in and ready to go.
Okay, I think I know who I am voting for.
Can we recap very quick?
Oh yes.
Yeah, sure. So,
I'm
let's just
starting
go
with you
clockwise.
and
Yeah, sorry.
oh, sorry. I was going to
I was
suggest
just gonna
start
say-
clockwise from Doric.
Yep.
So mine is the bird's nest.
Mm-hmm.
A bowl haircut.
A bowl haircut.
The neon pink afro.
And a double mullet.
Double mullet. Okay. So your answer's in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Bez.
Andrew. Me. I'm not sure who me is, Andrew, but I'm gonna guess it's Andrew. Then the
It's
correct
me,
answer
yeah.
is Andrew.
Hooray!
Wow, nice work, Andrew. So that means that
2 points. for
Andrew
Chris,
gets 2
for
points,
me.
Chris gets 2 points,
Bez
and
and Alina
Alina
get-
and I get 2 points.
I actually understand the
job.
scoring system today.
Yeah.
It's taken me about 4 goes.
So now it's Doric. You can ask, what's my ideal job? Or, actually, let's maybe not do that one.
The ideal job is like repeating the first
It's
one.
internet telephone therapist. Internet telephone fish sanitizing therapist. Yeah, that one.
You're going to ask, what's my ideal job?
No, I was saying we just did. I was saying effectively, we almost just did that one. Or we did one that was very similar.
Okay, so Doric, your questions are either what personal quality is the biggest turnoff, or what would be the dumbest thing to say in a job interview?
The first one.
Okay, what personal quality is the biggest turnoff?
Yeah. Because we did so many things.
Not bathing for a week. Not bathing for a week.
Not bathing for a week. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say not bathing. Full stop. Ever.
How would they be allowed into society, though?
Anti-vax.
Always being
Okay.
right.
Always being right.
Always. Every single time.
Are they actually right, or do they
Or
believe
just-
that? Maybe they're just magically this wisest person who's always like Gandalf.
So are they actually always right, or do they just believe they're always right?
No, they're always right.
Whoa.
They're an absolutely awful person because they're just always right. You know, just that's it. You know,
That
That
actually sounds quite appealing
I
to me.
kind of turned on.
useful. I'm not sure it's appealing.
I
I mean,
would love to be with
I'd love to
someone
have
like
one of
that.
these. Yeah, same here. I'd love to have that person. What's tomorrow's lottery number?
Like dating an oracle. Yeah.
Okay, that's prophetic, not always right. Yeah.
How about someone who is always wrong? But
No,
then you
because-
can counter that. You can do the opposite. It's still the same thing.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
because
as long
like,
as you
they
answer the
don't
true, false
have to
questions.
answer every question. If you ask them what's tomorrow's lottery numbers, they just say, "Well, I don't know," which would be right.
Technically correct. Yes. Three logisticians walk into a bar. The barman asks, "Do you want to order a drink?" The first one says, "I don't know." The second one says, "I don't know." The third one says, "Yes." Yeah.
Alina?
Wow, I'm stuck here. I don't know. Still don't have an answer.
I think for that joke to work, Andrew, it should have been, "Do you all want to order a drink?"
There you go. The fact that you know the fact that I got the joke wrong explains that you know how the joke works correctly. Yes.
No, I work.
Well, it's
it out.
supposed to work. See, Bez has told a joke a time or two in her life, you see.
By the way, I have a question. So Andrew's character is understandable to a point, but Bez, your character mod, do they have alternative methods of self-sensation?
Well, sometimes they go to the swimming pool, but they don't actually.
But for obvious reasons, nobody lets them in.
They eat chloride.
No, they just. I mean,
that was
don't
suggested
bathe. It
by.
doesn't mean that you get sick just because you don't bathe.
This is true.
All right. So do I get to choose?
Well, Alina, do you have anything you want to contribute, or do you want to just pass?
I don't know. For some reason, I appears to thought like they always wear black. No, why?
Okay.
Okay.
I actually had one girlfriend like that.
Okay, I've picked my. I think I know what Doric is going to go for. Doric,
So
do you know
I
what
found
you're
the name of the person. Yeah, cool. Is everybody ready? 1,
Yep.
2, 3. Bez. Whoops, sorry.
Clearly, Bez. I'm touched that Alina thought mine was good, but Bez was,
Dang it!
So Andrew and I voted correctly.
Yeah, only because he was riffing off of my answer. Yeah.
I mean, is that a valid tactic? Wait till somebody says something funny and then say something slightly funnier.
Can you do that?
I mean, it works.
Well, it's up
to
to
be
the
fair,
judge. The
when
judge
you
can
think of
decide that
something-
two answers are too similar.
Yeah,
If you
when you
think
think of
that two
something, if you
answers
can
are
figure
too
out how to
similar-
one-up it, you should just one-up it yourself there and then. As soon as you think, oh yeah, not bathing for a week, you need to think, yeah, but not bathing for a month is funnier.
I didn't actually think that not bathing ever was funnier, but yeah, it was. So well
Okay.
done, Bez.
Thank you.
Humor is relative.
So, Alina, your possible questions are either what's your biggest pet peeve, or what would be the weirdest thing to find written on a bathroom stall?
Okay, maybe second one because I had a question about pet already. So on the
No, the pet peeve means something that you really dislike.
Wait, okay, you see.
Pet in the other sense.
It's a British phrase which means pet peeve is a thing that you say, oh, that's something that I especially dislike. It really annoys me.
Okay. It's a bit similar for what we were just played, right?
I don't know, it's entirely up to you. Whichever question you feel is better.
What was again?
Or what would be the weirdest thing to find written on a bathroom stall? Shall we go with that one?
Stuff is just the furniture, yes?
The bathroom stall, like the walls. When you're, when you go, like a bathroom cubicle almost.
Just written in a bathroom is, close enough for practical purposes.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. Second
Okay,
one.
All right.
what's the weirdest thing to find written in a bathroom? Okay, I've got one. The weirdest thing to find written on the wall of a bathroom, graffitied on, would be the correct solution to Fermat's last theorem.
That would be strange.
Like that someone's managed to mathematically solve this supposedly unsolvable thing. They said, I must tell the world. I know who would want to find this. People who are coming here to urinate and defecate. I must share this with everyone who comes into this bathroom. Spread the truth.
Okay.
The entire text.
I was just going to say, help, I've fallen in. Help, I've fallen in.
No,
Or something.
the entire text of Corinthians written backwards in Esperanto.
Ooh.
What? And you said you're not good at storytelling games. What's going on here?
I'm good at coming up with weird things. It's stringing them together into a compelling narrative. I'm all for that. Yeah. How did that come to happen? Is a whole nother story. But yeah,
Exactly.
Well, it's clearly some sort of Jehovah's Witness who's wanting to spread it to the Esperanto speakers.
Yeah, and who happens to write backwards?
Yeah, maybe the backwards writing is because you can see it from the mirror.
Yeah, there you go. You're meant to read it in the mirror with the stall door open.
Can I go?
Yeah, just
Yes.
The list of everything you ate today.
I mean,
Like, from
that's just
breakfast,
evidence-based reporting.
Quarter of the day, yeah.
So, for the weirdest thing to find on the wall of a bathroom stall, going clockwise from Andrew Dennison, we have
The entire text of Corinthians written backwards in Esperanto.
the solution to Fermat's theorem.
Help, I've fallen in.
The list of all the nutrition you took today. Report.
Okay. And Alina, you have to decide which is the weirdest thing to find.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone else shows before you, Alina.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone's ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, reveal.
Oh.
Okay, who was it?
Was very, very close. Yeah, I was about to choose Andrew, but it's Bez.
Oh,
Oh!
so Judge gets a point. Nobody else does. Is
No,
that
I
it?
get a point for writing it.
Oh,
And,
yes. Of course you do.
Alina doesn't get a point.
When do I get a point? If somebody else
Because no one else voted for the same thing as you.
At least two people have to vote. Okay.
Well, at least one person has to vote for Bez, because no one else voted for me.
okay.
So, Andrew, you are the judge now.
Oh no.
What would be the dumbest thing to do in public? Or which historical event would it have been the coolest to witness in person?
Dumbest in public has more comic potential, I feel.
What would be the dumbest thing to do in public? Okay, I've got an idea.
I see no.
I think that shouting out how you're excited to update your passwords all to your street name.
With the actual passwords included, or just a statement that you're excited that you're updating them?
No, you're updating them to your street name.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you would be shouting this maybe whilst, on your streets, I don't know.
It's fairly dumb.
Yeah, it kind of is. What is it the dumbest? Or do Chris, Doric, Coralina have even dumber?
You know, I'm not quite sure I'm there yet. Keep going. Whoever's got one.
Okay, I have one, but just while it's a pause. So it's something that now public for me. It's only online public. So I would imagine just streaming your dream.
As in just a random dream you had.
Like okay, maybe more literally while you're sleeping, but yeah, just putting it into the public.
Yep, dream TV could be potentially embarrassing. Could be yeah. You just don't know what you're gonna get, do you? Okay. Yep.
Hey y'all, this elevator is so stupid. It's got a button for the floor I'm on.
Okay. Yep.
Really? I mean, asking a police officer where to buy weed.
Okay.
But where it's not legal.
Yeah. Yep, fair enough. What was the question, Bez? Just for clarity.
What would be the dumbest thing to do in public?
Okay.
So the dumbest thing to do in public, I said it's to scream how you're excited to update your password to your street's name, so everyone basically knows all your passwords now.
Yep.
Chris.
Hey y'all, this elevator's got a button for the floor I'm on.
Asking a police officer for some weed, where to get weed.
Directions of where to buy weed. Okay. Yep.
Yep.
Streaming your sleep.
Streaming your. Yep. Okay.
I know who I think Andrew would go for.
Why do I think the same?
So remember, it's not about... So Chris, Doric, and Alina, we're not voting for our favourites. We're voting for who we think Andrew...
I was going to say.
Yeah. Is everyone ready? 3, 2, 1.
Take a risk.
Ooh, we've got a good split. Good split.
And what's the truth?
Truth is... Bez. I thought Alina's was really good and had great comic potential, but in terms of just moronically dumb to do and the mischief that could be caused, I think going out and telling everybody your password is, yeah.
I thought it was going to... I thought Doric had just pipped it, but that means that...
I did give that fair consideration, but technically it's not a crime. The crime is purchasing. So... You'd get a very funny look. they might use it as an excuse for stop and search.
Looking to purchase, I mean, if once they know that you're on your way to purchase, then they'd know that you're about to commit a crime.
Only if you went ahead and committed it. Whereas if you give everybody your online passwords, they can get on, Tor or something and just buy, 78 pounds of crack cocaine, which is probably going to cause you more trouble. Especially if they also have it shipped to your street address.
Let's move on to the next question. Second round, what would be the most fun thing to throw off a tall building? So let's say you were able to get somehow, gets onto the balcony of the shards. I don't think they even have balconies there. Or I'm trying to think of a place where you might actually be able to do this. Like, I guess the Empire State Building, they've got like a fence, but you might be able to push something through, maybe cuts a little hole through. What would be the most fun thing to throw off it? Anyway.
Air balloons.
Air balloons?
Yes.
What, just filled with, your own
helium.
Air?
Yeah.
Helium?
Yeah.
Okay.
They'd go
$1,000.
Is it the dumbest thing or the funnest thing?
The most fun thing.
I take that back then.
Okay,
Mhm.
Chris, you said $1,000.
$1,000 because I want to make it rain, baby.
In $1 bills, presumably. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's first child photo when they're pooing.
Everybody's so children's photos of everyone, and everyone's pooing.
And landing directly in front of them.
I mean, you don't have magical abilities. You're just throwing it off the tall building. You don't magically get all of these to land with exact precision. That's just not allowed.
Okay, then mine, and I'll be grinning for. Yeah.
Sorry, I need to. Okay, but are you sticking with that? Children's photos are basically thousands of children's photos where the children are pooing.
I never said that. I never said their own.
The internet believes otherwise.
What did you say then?
Okay, let's.
Everybody's own pooing photos from just yesterday, and only for people who are over 18 years old, plus 1 day because they could have been.
Yeah, or 21 in relevant jurisdictions where this may apply, assuming nothing and presenting no arguments or affidavits.
So
therefore,
basically, you've got photos of all the adults down below, of them all pooing, just to embarrass them. That's what you're doing.
Which you're going to magically land in front of them off the top of the world's largest
no,
island.
you're not magically getting them to land in front of them, but hopefully they're in the vicinity.
Yeah, it should be random because then everybody's gonna look for their own match. Like, because
Yeah.
He's got a point there.
Okay, I like it.
The base jumping parachute that you are wearing.
What did he say? A base jumping parachute that you're wearing.
That you are wearing, yes.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. I like this out of the box thinking. Alina.
Well, imagine the pillow full of the feather of the swan, you know?
Yes,
feather.
swan feathers.
Yes, feathers, and then you come and cut it, and then like all the river.
Yeah, I like this.
In 1 hour, it fell down here or there. I don't know. Yeah,
That would be quite pretty.
Yeah.
So we've got a whole bunch of different answers.
Yeah,
We've got Chris with $1,000 just making it rain.
Yep.
We've got Doric with a bunch of photos of people pooing yesterday and the people who are within the vicinity of the building, hopefully to embarrass them and make them want to scramble and find their photos. We've got the feathers, I mean, just ripping that up and scattering it and letting it slowly waft down over the course of quite a while. And we've got Andrew Dennison, who thought you're basically throwing yourself off whilst wearing a base jumping parachute.
Correct. But I felt that I felt that phrasing it the other way around was both funnier and strictly true to the question.
Well, throwing yourself off is also strictly true.
Yeah.
Okay, there's lots of good.
I sort of feel this is the one I think is right, and the Bez will say, and then I sort of think I'm going to be wrong by default.
Okay. I've got my answer. Has everyone else written the answer?
Yep.
Or got it written down? 3, 2, 1, reveal. Chris, Alina, Doric, and Doric. Oh, man. I thought that even though it would be terrifying, I thought that Andrew's was the funniest. And it's also the thing that I think would be most memorable. I'd be scared to do it. I'm not going to lie. I would hope that the base jumping parachute, would be reasonably safe. I would hope that I would survive and make it down. But, you know, if I can, I think that that would be a fun, exhilarating thing to do. And I think that would be probably, yeah. So Andrew Dennison gets a point.
Hooray!
Chris Backe, if you were invisible, what would you do? Or what's the least interesting academic subject?
If you were invisible, what would you do?
No, it's for Chris.
What would Chris do if Chris was invisible?
If I was invisible, what would I do? And I do believe there is a correct answer to this question. For obvious reasons, I will not be revealing. There is very much a correct answer that if I were to be invisible. Bez.
I've got the answer. So I was actually asked this on my. I did that Ask Me Anything, like I think it might have been yesterday or Sunday, and someone asked me this very question, and I thought about it, and I realized if I were invisible, what I would personally be doing is freaking out, because if I wake up and I'm invisible and I don't know why, and I've got no explanation, I'd be like, oh my God, what's going on? Why am I invisible? And I'd be freaking out. And I think you would be telling your wife, and you'd be trying to seek medical advice and trying to seek the advice of the people and trying to work out what the hell is going on.
Okay. Very good. Who else?
Rob a bank.
Rob a bank?
Rob a bank? All right.
Good.
Very good.
Become
Andrew,
the world's
Alina?
greatest freelance assassin.
In one
Okay.
day.
Alina?
Visit CERN.
Visit CERN. Okay. All
Where?
right.
CERN.
CERN. That's where they do all the science experiments with particles and so on.
Many of which are invisible.
Physics, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. Why don't we do a little round cap, starting with Doruk and continuing clockwise?
Robbing a bank.
Robbing a bank.
Visit CERN.
Is it CERN? Yep.
Become the world's greatest freelance assassin.
Okay. Bez?
Freaking out.
Freaking out. Okay. Okay. Well, I have the correct answer in my hot little hand.
I've got it too. The meal.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
Andrew.
Okay. Andrew, Alina, Bez,
Who did vote?
Doruk. Is that Andrew? Okay. Correct answer is Andrew.
Hey!
Oh.
Very good. Now, for
I'm
the record,
disappointing to learn this about you. I wouldn't have thought
I would
that
be.
I'd have.
You have to remember, Bez, I have spent a decade plus living outside of my home country. I have woken up and found myself in some very unusual situations and places. It might take. I might freak out for a couple of hours once I realize this is a permanent sort of thing. But I think I'm reasonably well adjusted. The correct answer, however, would have been secretly manipulating adults to think their kids' invisible friends were real. Exactly. Just like manipulating things behind the scenes, and the adults are like, "That was not there. Just 5 seconds ago. How did you do that? It was my friend. Your friend was over there. Yeah. And she moved the teacup and everything. Yeah. And and the parents, of course, is like, "There's no one around. How did that happen? It's my invisible
Assassins have
friend,
to have a
Mom."
hobby. You know, you can
exactly.
fit that in between.
I mean, I'm not
I could, yeah.
massively disappointed that you aren't freaking out. What I'm disappointed in is that you feel like it's within your nature to become a freelance assassin for a day.
Well, I have to fluctuate between chaotic good and chaotic evil. That's just kind of how I roll sometimes. So.
Also, it was never specified who the assassination targets were. You could cogently argue that there's a great many people that could do with being assassinated.
If you ever get the chance, Denzel Washington.
Doric, either answer what's the worst thing about money, or what would be the coolest thing to be able to predict?
Worst thing about money.
What's the worst thing about money?
Let's get philosophical.
What is the worst thing about money? Deep question.
That I don't have.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Drew more of a straight shooter, or are we? How do we appeal to him? Is it more of a sense of humor sort of thing, or? Okay, I think the worst thing about money is when you have a really big bill, like a €100 bill, or just a big bill, and you cannot use it because no one has the change for it. That's the worst thing about money.
That can get annoying, yeah.
Yeah, can't get change from a big bill.
Mm.
You can't eat it.
Can't
You could exchange stuff for it.
Technically, you normally can. However, I am drawing on recent parallels. You cannot eat money.
Okay.
They say it's fat inside the at least the British pounds. So it's like plastic which is used to it. It consists animal fat.
Okay. And British notes are not vegan friendly.
That is actually true.
And Canadian
I think
notes
they changed that. I think they did change it in the second printing, didn't they? I think that was one of the things they addressed because of it being raised. I may be wrong, but I think
British
they changed
pounds
it.
are vegan.
But they
So in a
were.
way, you can, kind of not boil, but maybe with fire, it could appear in some kind of eatable thing.
What?
I just
Okay.
Who hasn't had a wise money? What's the worst thing about money?
Oh, so I've not said anything. I think that the worst thing about money is the corruption and inequality that it causes.
Ah, okay. So more wealth in many ways, but yes, but money equally valid.
So do I choose the funniest one?
Or the one it doesn't have to be funniest. It's the one you think is most appropriate. Well, yeah, it's however you want to judge it. That's hence Chris's comment. Is if we're playing it for laughs, then a funny one might make sense. If we're being deep and philosophical, then Bez's might make sense. Or I mean, actually, mine's fairly.
We have a recap starting with Alina.
Gems.
That's the worst thing about money is gems.
Absolutely.
What do you mean gems? The
Germs.
Yes.
Huh?
Bacteria consist. Like those things which are on the money, and like you touch it, and there are so many bacteria on it.
Yeah. They're not.
Oh, germs.
Germs.
Yes.
Although for a long time it was reckoned that British currency in circulation was actually surprisingly safe on account of the fact that more of it had crack cocaine on it than had germs. Because it turns out cocaine makes a fairly effective disinfectant. True fact.
Andrew, do you spend like your entire day just researching these sorts of comedic bits for work or something?
Yeah.
Or
it takes 2 days ahead of a Bez stream to come up with a sufficient number of random facts that at least one of them will be admissible during the stream.
The rest of them, of course, can be used any other time. So very good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a growing list. I mean, it's going to get published in 78 volumes once COVID ends.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
Are we doing a recap?
Andrew, what did you say?
You can't eat it.
I said corruption and inequality.
And I said you can't when you can't change a big bill, when you can't get change for a big bill.
All right.
Okay.
I don't know.
There are two pretty good answers here, and I'm sorry to say that. Yeah, I can only choose one.
Okay, Doric, you've locked in your answer?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone's ready? 3, 2, 1, reveal.
Got Bez, Alina, Chris, and so many Bezes. What? Oh, the last Bez. Okay. It's Alina.
Yes.
Oh,
You're also stressed by all these vectors.
so
Yeah.
Alina gets a point for having written it. Chris gets a point for voting for Alina. And Doric gets a point because one other person also knew what Doric was going for. And we've got Alina, who is either going to ask what's the greatest creative work of all time, or what would be the coolest thing to try just once.
Oh wow! What to choose in between?
Just once. Anything you can try once.
Yes,
Sure, cool many
I
times.
went for the second one. Even like creative things is interesting, but second one, just once, yeah.
What would be the coolest thing to try just once? So not twice, you stop at once. I mean, why do you try it just once? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I was about to say, anything that's good to do once is good to do twice, generally speaking.
Yeah,
Well,
but
there is a difference between liking to do once and being able to do more than once.
Right, okay.
So, for example, Alina, skydiving without a parachute.
Shoot. Yeah.
You can do that once, and probably not twice. So,
is that your
There you are.
answer?
that is my answer, yes.
I'm going to say that my answer is skinny dipping in the Antarctica.
Ooh.
Hmm.
You might not be able to do that again a second time.
Well, you are going to extreme sports. Yeah, okay.
Time travel.
Oh, good.
Wow.
I would want to do that many more than once.
Yeah, but I'm assuming the Terminator type supposition whereby you get sent rather than take the gadget with you.
Okay. So it's a one-way trip then.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Or you believe it likely to be, in as far as you don't have the ability yourself to get yourself back.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
McDonald's.
Yeah, Dirk.
I said McDonald's or Big Mac.
McDonald's. Why?
So you
Oh.
try it just once and never
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I'm not sure this is an endorsement of a well-known fast food restaurant's food hygiene practices, but you know.
Yeah,
I
Dirk
think
got-
basically what Storic's saying is that if you only have it once, then you're actually maybe doing something good with your life because you've not gone back for a second time. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Possibly. Yeah, exactly.
But I suppose if you were vegetarian or vegan, can you justify it as a one-off? You know, I'm going to have a burger once. You know, like people have a cigarette once, just to, you know, what's
to know
the
you
fuss?
tried.
I think I have actually genuinely smoked 2.5 cigarettes in my. Well, I've had a little bit of free cigarettes in my life.
Well done.
I've smoked
Okay.
more cigars than cigarettes.
I've smoked more cigars also, but like with a cigarette, it's literally been one toke, whereas with a cigar, I have. No, cigars are actually pleasant. I can understand why that could be enjoyed, whereas the cigarette, I feel like, yeah, it's only once you start getting the chemicals acting on you, and it becomes an addiction. Anyway, shall we do a recap?
Mhm.
Things to try once. Things that are very fun to try, but only once, isn't it?
Yep. Andrew.
Time travel, or being sent to time travel.
I said skinny dipping in the Antarctica. Chris.
Skydiving without a parachute.
Big Mac.
Okay, so
I mean, I don't want to bias the judge, but I'm pretty sure skinny
Let's
dipping in
go.
Antarctica isn't fun. I'm pretty sure that's a fairly unpleasant, brief experience.
I'm not sure that skydiving would be that good, except for maybe a couple of
To be
seconds.
honest, 12,000
It'd be
feet down,
fun.
you get to remember more of that than the skinny dipping.
Well, yeah, I was going to say it'd be really fun, and then just at some point you realize just exactly what you've done, and then it'd be a lot of pleasure followed by a little bit of terror, and then you wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. So
Yeah. It's a self-resolving problem, you feel.
exactly. That's why that's why you only do it once. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Alina, you locked in?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so Doric needs to write. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, yeah. That's the arcade, that's me.
Okay.
What is the correct answer? Is it Andrew?
Well, yeah, for me it was very sure.
Hooray!
Hey,
Nice.
so Alina gets
Thank
2 points. Andrew gets 2 points. And Chris and I also get 2 points for voting for Andrew. And currently, Andrew Dennison is in the lead. And then it's me and Chris and Doric and Alina. So,
My turn to judge, isn't it? Is this the last round, in fact?
yeah, it could be. What would be the dumbest gift to take from a stranger? Or what's the best activity for a first date?
Oh, I want to hear the first dates. Yeah, I want to hear what people think. I'd think is a good activity for a first date. I think that could be amusing.
And if you're watching in the comments, then feel free to give suggestions for what would be a good activity for a first date.
Can I start?
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Forgetting your wallet at home.
Oh no, that's a really awkward way to start a date. Yeah.
The good activity for the first date is forgetting your wallets at home.
Yeah.
That's the best activity. Okay.
See if they're still interested in you, and once you realise that you're not only not willing to pay, but just physically unable to do so. Okay. It's like the opposite of going Dutch.
We're still together, so.
More like the
Well-
opposite of paying for the other person.
Huh?
I mean, maybe the opposite of going Dutch would be nobody pays and you just run out to the
That's
restaurant.
dine and dash. I mean, that's a trope in
And
its own
that,
right.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say, I don't know if you guys know what Chuck E. Cheese is, so I'll kind of generalize it to say $20 worth of tokens at your local arcade.
Yep.
So you just play a ton of games, basically.
Cool.
Okay, I'm going to tap into what I know about Andrew and say that a brilliant activity, possibly the best activity for a first date, is dressing up as zombies and chasing other people together. And then you go to the bar afterwards.
Still dressed as a zombie, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Because, see, my alternative answer was actually going to be looking for pictures of people pooing near the bottom of a building. But I thought that might be. I thought that comment might be a
That's
little
the
too
self-referential
long-nosed.
joke that has to be applied to Doric, not me. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't. You see.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with $20 worth of arcade tokens.
The fourth wall has now well and truly gone with us referencing our tendency to have callbacks, in this case by not being able to have the correct callback.
Now, Alina, how?
Look, you want real humor, you got to pay for it. Okay, this is free humor. Everyone watching, you're welcome. We're all still in like training here. You know.
Yeah, that visibility problem you have is really cutting into your assassin income, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get invisible. Okay. Alina, what is the best activity for a first date? Please tell us.
Yeah, so listen, write down, and it would be going to another country for a concert.
Huh. Going
First
to another
date.
country for a concert.
Ooh.
That seems pretty forward, actually. I like it.
Yeah. Once on Coldplay concert, I was asking people their stories, and they came from Amsterdam to Warsaw just for concert, just for first date. So it was impressive.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a genuine thing that people have done. That's amazing.
yeah.
I mean, in really, it's not too bad. You don't even need papers. You don't need your passport. It's just a long
Yeah.
way.
But flying is a different matter.
And they say they arrange it like in one day. They said like, oh, what do you do on the weekend, or like few days? So it was like Wednesday or something, and then like, oh, let's go for a weekend for the concert on Coldplay. Yeah.
Wow.
In another country.
You'd
Okay.
think that would have sold out.
Yeah, I was wow, cool.
Maybe they bought it quite expensively from scalpers. I don't know. Maybe they've got quite a bit of money.
Perhaps they already had the tickets, or they had a partner they were going to go with who dumped them because they booked it a year in advance. And then they think, I'm going to the concert anyway, so I'll take my date.
Could be all sorts of stories.
Yeah, yeah.
Shall we do a recap?
Yeah, go for it. So, what
starting
people
for
think would
me-
be the best activity to do with me on a first date?
I think that the best activity would be to dress up as zombies and chase after scaring consenting adults, and then go to the pub afterwards.
$20 worth of arcade tokens.
Big Mac.
The self-referential callbacks are getting lazy at this point.
Big Mac. Forgetting your wallet at home.
Forgetting leaving you all at home. Yeah, forgetting your wallet. Okay.
Going to the concert to another country.
In another country.
Okay, I know who I think Andrew would go for. Have you locked it in?
I have the answer here.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Is it? So we.
Ooh, interesting. I will say this was very close to a three-way tie. Very close. But the correct answer is Chris.
Yes.
Oh, you voted for Chris.
There you go.
There we go.
Doric, did you vote for Chris?
Doric voted for Chris. I said Chris.
Chris.
But only one other person said it, so I get less points, don't I? I forget. I still
Yeah.
haven't figured out how judges get scored properly.
And that's the end of the game. And as we can see, Andrew Dennison has won. So
Hooray!
congratulations.
It's taken me 2 months to win a game on this stream. Finally done it.
Congratulations, Andrew. Your time has come. Now,
I now
do you
know
want
you
to
and
give a
Chris Backe well
congratulations
enough to
speech to
get
who
this
do you owe this victory to?
A great many people, mostly you four, because you voted for me at some point or agreed with me or something. So, yes, you four and some other people of big significance. You know, my parents, obviously, you know.
And callbacks, of course. You
callbacks.
can't have humor without callbacks, yeah.
You can't have humor without callbacks, no. Although sometimes if you set a really good one up in advance, it can be funny after the fact. So,
It can be, yeah.
But yeah, no, $20 of arcade tokens actually was it. Bez knows full well my predilection to running around in the dark. But aside from the bar afterwards, it's actually very hard to talk to people doing that. And you have to be in character, so you can't really be yourself.
I
So,
thought, so would I have won if I hadn't included a bar?
no, if that had been like the third date, you might have won. I think second or third date, but not the first. Another concert in another country is very tempting, but again, it feels like it's putting pressure on it. $20 of arcade tokens as a gamer, yeah. Go to an arcade, have fun, play co-ops, play competitive.
Yeah,
play
but kind
silly.
of
Yeah.
sorts of. You don't want
Also,
to set expectations too high. You don't want too much pressure. You just want to have a bit of fun.
Just want to, and if they don't have fun with $20 of arcade tokens, then they're probably not the sort of person I want to.
Funny
Stay with.
story. This actually happened on a first date. I told the person I was going on a first date that we would meet that we would meet at some place, and that I would drive us to our first place. Our first place was, a Chuck E. Cheese of an arcade of sorts. I bought $20 worth of arcade tokens, and we had a lot of fun. My thought process was, if I wanted to see, can they have fun?
Yeah.
A lot of adults, for better or for worse, they forget how to have fun somewhere along the way. Also, to an extent, I wanted to see how competitive they were. If they were
Right.
like, oh, if it's just fine, I don't really care who wins, or you're going down.
There's
either
a
one of those
happy medium
extremes.
as a gamer,
There's
particularly.
exactly. There's a happy medium in the middle. So I wanted
Yeah,
to
you
find
want
that
to
happy.
be playing to win. You want to be kind of actually trying. But if you win, you don't want to be rubbing it in. And if you lose, you don't want to be,
Exactly.
so remorseful.
Your ideal level of
it.
competitiveness is actually your own, isn't it? For most people, most gamers,
it's very
you actually want
similar,
somebody
yeah.
who is
That's
exactly as
actually a
competitive
really
as
nice.
you are.
That's a really astute observation.
Yeah. So what ended up? So after that, I said, okay, I'm glad we had some fun. Thank you for playing along. I will leave. I have some ideas for dinner, but I will leave the exact choice in your hands. And we had a great night. It wasn't a good fit for other reasons, but as a first date, it is a thing I would do. I would absolutely do again if I were ever.
If I ever need a first date again, that would be
exactly. Yeah.
There we go.
Like, I've not seen an arcade for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And so that's not a thing that...
There are ones. I mean, there's the big Namco one in London, isn't there, and things. In fact, actually, I think basically Chris's is the first date, Bez's is the second date, and Alina's is the third date.
Okay, yeah. Because I don't know if I would go to another country with someone I just met, like, for the first date or second date. But, that would definitely work.
Yeah, and depending on
and
proclivities and all the rest of it, you assume for the third date you have a hotel. So,
Yeah.
It
And of
seems
course,
to
for
work
the
out.
second date, you need to feel like okay. So when you go out with the second date for the zombies, you have the running joke that says whoever breaks character first buys the round.
Oh, I'd be broke because I was always one of the lead zombies, so I had to oscillate in and out of character like some sort of demented toothpaste. Don't do that! Don't do that! Don't do that! Yeah, being the senior zombie on the course was not the easy thing. Yeah.
Okay, I just double-checked on the internet, Andrew, and you're right. Even though Namco Funscape does say, sorry, we are closed for now, because I was thinking initially of the old Sega one. If you remember the 4-story one that did close down, but yeah, there is the Namco one.
I think.
Yeah, that was really nice, the multi-story one, and it had bits that vibrated and made you feel like you were being electrocuted. And but yeah, the Namco one besides the aquarium by London Eye.
Yep.
And yeah, according to Google, it is open and closes at 12 a.m., which is clearly untrue, given the scenario that we are in.
To be fair, I'm also going to struggle to cross continents at this point in time, or indeed to get a large number of people to play a street
To be
game,
fair,
so.
if we were honest, if you were having a first date right now, what would be your first date? It would be having a date on like some video call.
Yeah.
And someone did actually, I know they met someone actually recently. They have a new partner within the past 2 months, and this person, because I'm not going to name names because maybe they don't want to, share their business with the internet, like I'm okay with. But this friend of mine, had a gaming date where they're basically just playing an online multiplayer game and then chatting during it and shooting people together, which seems like a reasonable way. It's almost like the zombie thing, but obviously virtual.
Yep. To be fair, again, I won't name names, but if she wouldn't mind, I have an ace friend who said, "This is brilliant. All of the relationship, dating, talking thing, and none of the physical intimacy is required." She's like, "Yeah, this is it. Introverted aces will now have the best dating lives ever." It's like, yeah, I kind of get that.
Yeah, and you also don't have those weird, feelings of, okay, how am I going to get home? How do I make sure I find them? You just log into the channel, you're good, and then when you're done, if it gets weird, it's a click away.
It's like, yeah, sorry, I'm not feeling it. Bye. Click. And close your computer.
In terms of
Yeah.
concert, do it just online, yeah? Just going on to concert, like free of any tickets?
You know,
Also
there
easy.
have been people streaming concerts, which is a really cool thing. Like there was this sort of metal band playing something that Anne Jones told me about, which was, oh no, it was Sally Jones told me about, and who's not been on this stream for quite a while, which I hope that Sally's doing well. I should give them a ring maybe. But anyway, yeah, we saw this thing, and there were all these comments going up like way too fast to actually bother reading anything. But
That's the problem with any stream with comments. There's a happy medium, and it's around 100, 200 people, depending how verbose people are, where you can follow the chat in Twitch or a concert or anything, really. When it gets to 10,000, no idea, no point. It's just, it's just...
I was playing this little shoot 'em up game on my phone, and obviously it's got the whole grindy aspect. That's if you either pay money or if you log on multiple days, then you get to better guns and stuff. But it's basically one of those Twitch vertically scrolling shoot 'em ups. You're moving your finger around to
at the bottom and
yeah. Anyway, so well, your ship can technically move anywhere, and sometimes you don't want to be at the bottom, but it's just moving around the screen. Anyway, the point is that for the daily tasks that it tells you to do, some of the tasks make lots of sense, like defeat 2 of the bosses on boss mode, or find at least 10 tokens in campaign mode. And sometimes the things, one of the tasks it sometimes tells you to do, which makes absolutely no sense, is chat in the chat box. And I go to the chat box and I just kind of literally enter. The first time I looked at it, it was scrolling up so fast that something on the bottom literally took about 2 seconds to get to the top. And so I just kind of put in random gibberish, just hit a key and pressed enter to get my... And by doing that, they are incentivizing people to just do random gibberish, which other people were doing as well. But yeah, going into the whole too much thing. But sometimes even when there is a constant stream of going up, if there's 10,000 people, it's nice to have that feeling that you're with other people, even if it can be overwhelming. And feel like, yeah, it's just like all the people screaming in an audience in a concert, almost. I mean, like, obviously not quite the same, but yeah.
Digital screaming, that's the thing.
So it's been lovely having you all. I know that not everyone has shared a joy, so if anyone would like to share anything that's made them happy or that's filled them with joy, please. I don't think I asked you, Chris.
My joy has been sleeping in. Seriously, just it's nice to feel like I don't have a specific time I have to get up. I haven't really had that pressure in a very long time, but it is something nice to be able to sleep in and cuddle with my wife, and you kind of take my sweet time getting up in the morning. I sometimes make up for that by either staying up late because I am very much a night owl. But yeah, just sleeping in and kind of being lazy in the mornings.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'm very much am a night owl, and after long enough in lockdown, I have now settled my working day is now 10 o'clock till 6 o'clock. I run an hour and a half behind everybody else. It's all of these 8:30 in the morning till 5. No. Short lunch. Don't need an hour for lunch. Short lunch, 7.5 hours. 10 till 6, done. And then sometimes it runs on a bit if I'm busy. But yeah,
exactly.
That's been again. It's the lock a human away and remove outside reference. They do a 25-hour day. That's another random fact. There you go. But yeah, with no longer being forced by too many external forces, I've settled till 10 till 6 is my work day, which is nice.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Nice. Emily, do you have any joy to share?
Me, in the beginning when you was asking, I was so excited because I came from the workshop with like one art director, and I wanted to share like how it was amazing. Now, like I feel okay, it was like 2 hours ago. Like what matter? Now we had another good time, and then I would have another good time, and just I realized that like now in all this slow down mode, like so a lot of good things happening, and I so much enjoying like every moment of that. So it brings like so more opportunities, and I'm so happy. So
Oh,
some after some time, I just settle down and organize everything in a way that I can enjoy. And okay, here is something like for work. Here is something to enjoy, to relax. Here is something for music, or for talking with friends, or talking with family, or like developing myself. So I don't know. I feel so happy now from each of the part during the day. Yeah, I'm excited. I think I would have a walk, just go out a bit, like breathe an air. So I don't know, everything here so inspired me every day. So I don't know. Now I don't have anything particular in a way. So just exciting to live another hour, something like that.
oh,
Nice.
that's really lovely to hear that you are enjoying life moment to moment. And I think it is really important to do that. I see Richard Head in the comments asking if you can ask a question. As long as it's respectful, questions are always allowed. And
may
input
provide
is
answers.
always welcome. Yes.
We may not all provide the same answer.
I mean,
This is
unless it's a very simple question like what's 2 + 2, in which case I would hope that we do all provide the same
28.
answer.
Yeah.
I want to talk more about food. I want to say I recently got tin of asparagus heads.
They're going to taste of garlic. That's all I'm saying.
Everything will taste of garlic for the next couple of weeks, a month.
Hey, I really enjoyed that garlic, and
I've noticed garlic mead, garlic pickles. All I know now is next time I need to get you a snack at a con, it's garlic mayo and chips.
Yeah.
I could do.
Only Bez knows the answer to that question, so I suggest Bez answers it. I mean, we could all guess. I mean, it just in the spirit of the thing, let's everyone else take a guess at the answer to the question before Bez actually tells us the correct one.
So, do people want to guess
8
when
months. 8 months.
I've gotten my haircut fairly regularly, and I mean that not in the sense of frequently, but in the sense of I have my haircut at very exact and pre-measured intervals and similar intervals. So
Do you mean cut though, or tidied? Because that's the thing, is styled. Because
I guess tidied. Yeah. I get it trimmed twice a year, and also dyed.
So 8 months actually might not have been a bad guess if it had been 2 months and you'd just been coming up a trim.
But I will say that last time I properly cut my hair, there was quite a while ago, I was doing a charity haircut where I had hair that went down to about here, which I think if I untie my hair, it probably goes down a little bit longer. So my hair, it goes down,
Amazing.
not quite to my belly button. Oh, actually.
Oh. I bet if you combed it out, I bet it would.
If I, even with my head straight, at least one of the strands does go about to the top of my belly button. And it was about 8 years, I would say, that I've been in London, which is, how long it's when I properly had it all cut really, really short for charity. And apparently Chris looks like an unhappy Frankie Boyle.
Well,
thank you for the compliment, by the way, Richard.
Yeah. Unhappy Frankie Boyle, that's it.
I was about to say, Frankie Boyle's normally just angry at everything, isn't he?
Frankie Boyle's always unhappy. Surely that's what's the word? Tautology?
I do have I have a resting angry face that I have been accused of that. At first I was like, how are you seeing that? Then I realized the glasses really have. Okay, so first off, I've worn glasses most of my life for as long as I can remember. I've tried contacts, and I couldn't keep them balanced on my nose, but I always came back to glasses just because they were easier. And so because you can't really see the eyeballs as well with the glasses, people just kind of go. They might not see the whole range of facial expressions. Also, depending on what screen you're seeing me on, I'm about this big. However you do a square with your fingers. So, whatever, it's all good.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think me and Chris are actually distantly related. Same body clock, glasses, the whole thing. It's the same hairstyle. It's all love of games. It's all going on.
Andrew, I'm picturing you being blonde now.
Yeah, I have been blonde once. But for our obvious fact, we're both married and presumably of the wrong sexuality. You could have taken me on a great first date. So
Yeah.
probably about age appropriate. It's all lining up.
We could have had some game throwing in the quarter.
Doric looks like my older brother. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Doric can totally be my older brother.
Yeah, we could all be related. We are family.
Technically, if you go back far enough, we all are.
Yeah.
That'd be really randomly interesting, wouldn't it? Because you can't possibly know the answer, but just take 5 random people like us. How far back do you go to have to find our earliest common ancestor? Is there one? Yeah. The chances are there are, but any random group
travelled in. My parents both came in from Iran, so I was born in Scotland, but yeah.
Allegedly, my family has Spanish blood from the Armada, which in turn explains dark hair, dark eyes, and tanning very easily, apparently. Okay, so yeah, all around the sort of Mediterranean area,
Ukrainian?
maybe.
You're Ukrainian?
Elena's Ukrainian, off the Black Sea, but
yeah,
the Black Sea trades with the Med. So yeah, we could all have had a distant relative who was some sort of seafarer on the Black Sea, Mediterranean, girl in every port type.
And trading to Iran, maybe.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a stretch.
Has Iran not got a port? Of course it doesn't. What's between Iran and the Med? Which country is between Iran and the Med? Syria?
I don't know.
Where?
Don't ask me geography right now.
It occurs to me, I should know this.
Iran and Turkey, I think.
Can you repeat that question? Iran and what's the second country?
The Mediterranean.
Turkey.
Oh, Turkey. Yes, Turkey is the only contiguous one. Yeah.
Where I am.
So maybe we all had
You have to go across Istanbul. That's also bad.
I sort of forgot that Georgia and Azerbaijan are there. For some reason, I had it in my head that Iran had a bit of sea at the top left corner. It does. It's called the Caspian Sea. So there would have to be some sort of caravan through Georgia for this to work out. But that was.
As lovely as it is having you all on, we have to end this sometime. And so I'm going to call it. I'm going to be continuing my live stream every day for the foreseeable future. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a brainstorm where I'm going to try and invent a brand new game and see how that works. We're going to be doing this 8 p.m. thing. Well, officially starting at 8:10 p.m., but we'll aim to start a couple of minutes early, because that way, if you want to go out and clap for the NHS, that's still something you can do. So on Thursday, we're going to have another 8:10 p.m. Gaming stream, which you will definitely be able to play along to, and hopefully see you then, Richard, if you want to join in. We've not yet decided what the party games will be, but I think, Chris, you will no longer be able to join us. Is that correct?
That's correct. I'll actually be starting a playtesting group that meets on Thursday evenings. Obviously, you guys are invited if you're free and would prefer to playtest some games. Obviously, Bez is going to have a great selection here as well. These will not be live streams, so viewers/watchers at home, stick here for Bez's awesomeness.
Thank you. And Doric, if you
Yes.
all of you are welcome. We'll have a chat later. And for everyone who's out there and watching this, whether it's right now or after the moment, thank you so much. And stay strong, stay sane, stay safe, be brilliant. Bye, 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 bye. This is the goodbye song. Do-do-do-do. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye-bye.